Carbon is one of the most abundant elements in the world, ranking it as fourth in terms of overall mass. Carbon is typically found within all of the Earth's layers in the atmosphere, and it's dissolved in all of the Earth's oceans. Adding carbon to any element will make it organic. Hydrogen. Hydrogen is the lightest element known to man. Hydrogen is a tasteless, odorless, and colorless diatomic gas. This element is commonly found within the atmosphere of gas giants in our solar system. Hydrogen plays a key role in fueling the core of these gas giants. Nitrogen. Nitrogen is the seventh most abundant element in the solar system and accounts for up to 70% of the Earth's atmosphere gases. The typical human body contains about 3% by mass of nitrogen. Oxygen. Oxygen is essential to all living life. Without gas, life as we know it would cease to exist in a blink of a second. Oxygen accounts for about 20.85 of the Earth's atmosphere. This is a number only matched by nitrogen, as it accounts for 78.09 of the Earth's atmosphere. Oxygen appears in two forms, as a gas and as a liquid. The gaseous form is found in our atmosphere and, of course, our lungs. Liquid oxygen is primarily found in commercial applications. Phosphorus. Phosphorus is essential for all living organisms. As a phosphate, it is component to DNA, RNA, and ATP, and also the phospholipids that form all cell membranes. Phosphorus compounds are generally found in fertilizers. The compounds return to the phosphorus that has been taken out of the soil from a plant that allows the state of balance to exist. Sulfur. Sulfur is a naturally occurring element. The element has the ability to oxidize most minerals and nonmetals, including carbon. Like phosphorus, sulfur is commonly in fertilizers and has several other commercial use, such as being used as an industrial material, the form of sulfuric acid.
Segment 2, Part 1 with Abby.
Acids, neutrals, and bases are all used in your everyday life. These are represented with a diagram called a pH scale. Acids are 0 to 6 on the pH scale because of their sour taste and how acids produce positively charged hydrogen ions. Lemon juice and vinegar is an example of an acid. 7 on the pH scale is a neutral zone. Neutral is not involved in any side. In this case, water or sugar water is an example of a neutral substance because it is not a base or an acid. A base on the pH scale is located in the range of 8 to 14. A base is a purine in a group of nucleotides. In most cases, a base tastes bitter and produces negative OH ions. Bleach and soapy water are both considered bases.
All right, so stop.
Now introducing segment 3, water properties with Jackie.
Water properties include expansion, capillary action, surface tension, diffusion, and the universal solvent and clarity. Expansion is when ice is less dense than water so it can float. Organisms can survive under the ice during the winter. Capillary action is when water can defy gravity and climb up the roots. Capillary action allows water to be carried from the roots to the leaves. Surface tension is when water molecules stick together, creating a film between the two. Surface tension allows organisms to stand or walk on top of the water. Diffusion is when water molecules spread other molecules out evenly. Diffusion spreads oxygen and other molecules out as well. The universal solvent is water. Water can dissolve most things. Organisms, chemicals, and reactions all take place in water. Water is resistant to temperature change because it uses a lot of energy to change the temperatures. Water also can stabilize in climates, and the sweat or Jackie! can cut off right there. Demonstration, it will be harder to see the pin as it is lowered down into the pond. In segment 3 is surface tension. Surface tension is where water molecules stick together, creating a film between the two. Surface tension also allows organisms to stand or walk on the water. A good examples are these bugs in the pond. We have put pink food dye into water in the vase of white flowers. The white flowers have absorbed the pink food dye water, and now almost all of them are pink, except for a few of the white flowers left.
Small subunits that ultimately link together to form larger molecules are called monomers, which literally means single unit, as mono means one. When a bunch of monomers join together into a much larger molecule, they form a polymer, meaning many units, as poly means one. How does this linking together happen? There are two processes by which this joining usually occurs. One of them, called dehydration synthesis, involves two monomers lining up next to each other. For example, hydrogen, H, from one monomer binds with the hydroxyl group, OH, from another monomer. With the two molecules now put together, we now have a single water molecule. The linking together of the two molecules is presided over by an enzyme that is mainly there to help speed things along. The name of the process is dehydration synthesis because monomers are literally coming together and synthesizing a polymer by dehydrating or removing a water molecule. As mentioned in a previous segment of our video, water is a universal solvent. Water also acts like a knife. Dehydration synthesis and a reactant, hydrolysis. One example of where water would be considered a knife would be hydrolysis, which is a reaction involving the breaking of a bond within a molecule using water. The reaction mainly occurs between an ion and water molecule and often changes the pH of a solution. In higher levels of science, such as chemistry, there are three types of hydrolysis that are taught: salt hydrolysis, acid hydrolysis, and base hydrolysis. Like I mentioned earlier, monomers and polymers are building blocks for all substances. Carbohydrates are compounds made from carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen. The three of these elements combine and form carbohydrates, which are also called saccharides. Monosaccharides, such as glucose, and disaccharides, such as sucrose, are relatively small molecules. They are often called sugars. The largest of these compounds are often called polysaccharides. Polysaccharides are known as starch and glucose. All of these compounds that I have just mentioned are used as cellular energy. Before a cell can utilize these compounds, it must break them down into simpler forms that can easily be stored. Lipids are known as the only form that your body uses to store energy. Lipids are a group of naturally occurring molecules that include fats, waxes, sterols, and fat-soluble vitamins. Eukaryotic cells are divided into membrane-bound organelles that carry out different biological functions. Phospholipids are the main structural component of biological membranes, such as the cellular plasma membrane and the intracellular membrane of organelles. In animal cells, the plasma membrane physically separates the intracellular component from the extracellular environment. These phospholipids are amphipathic molecules which contain both hydrophobic and hydrophilic regions that contain a glycerol core linked by two fatty acid-derived tails. The region is also known as a phospholipid bilayer. One of these layers serves as a shell to the insides of the membrane and the other serves as a shell to the outsides of the membrane.